Wesley Clover Parks is more than an equestrian park. It's an innovative four-season outdoor recreation and learning hub that promotes health and education.
So ladies and gentlemen, less than 10 minutes away from the start of today's feature class, the $37,000 FEI Capital Classic, brought to you by Wesley Clover Parks, one of the best designers in the world. Olaf Peterson Jr. here with us this week, designing the course. He's given us a course that starts over here near the in-gate. If you look across the field to the blue and white rails, the very colorful wings, that is the globes, the tour of the globe, spanning the globe fence is number one, a big vertical to start the competition today. From there, they'll come toward the gazebo where the ring crew lives at the end of the ring to jump number two. They'll be jumping the Ottawa jump just at the base of the berm of the bank toward the gazebo. They'll turn left-handed just before the gazebo, coming to the middle of the field. You see a big orange jump. It looks like two pillars. Those are the gates of the Omaha Convention Center. Brody Robertson built this to commemorate the FEI Longines Championships in Omaha, Nebraska. That is a copy of the two towers on the gates of the convention center there where the jumping took place. Straight ahead to the wagon. Very colorful jump in the center of the arena. A big oxer at number 4. A right-hand turn to number 5. To the Brook Street pillars. Rounding the corner, they continue on a right-hand turn, come to the first combination. The very colorful horse heads on the gray wings, that's the logo from the France World Equestrian Games. A vertical to an oxer, to a left-hand turn, then to the Parliament Building Tower, the Peace Tower, and the blue rails, an airy vertical right in front of the VIP tent. To the next combination on the course, the Christmas-themed combination, the very colorful poles, multicolored, with the pine trees as the standards. A oxer to an oxer here. Continuing on the left-hand turn, they come to the Canada jump, the big maple leaves on the open wings with the black, red, and white rails, jump number 9. To the triple bar next, this straight right in the center of the ring at X, the Olympic coins. This is a replica of a jump that was seen first at the Athens Olympics. A right-hand turn then to the Lépine combination, the crisscross rails on the wings with the rock bases, light gray and white rails, a vertical to a vertical here. And then on to the finish over the RBC Oxer. Very pleased to have Deanna Phelan with me up here in the booth. She'll be bringing you some of the commentary today. And we are going out live, so smile when you see a camera facing you. Deanna.
Thank you, Jeff. What a beautiful afternoon is. The conditions look pristine, the green grass. We should be expecting fabulous jumping today with a wonderful field. The length today is 490 meters. The time allowed will be 79 seconds, so we'll be eager to see if that's going to be a big test today, the time allowed. We're going to have 12 numbered obstacles with actually 14 jumping efforts. Interesting enough, our course center today has used 3 combinations. And the track today is 1.45 meters, so we're looking for the verticals and oxers to be looking about 4'9" in height. And but the conditions are absolute perfect today, and looking forward to welcoming our first horse on course momentarily.
And I believe we have 32 to jump. We have had some scratches in the order. If you have a start list with you, scratch the 16th in the order. Aristoteles, owned by Candy Tribble, will not be ridden today by Jonathan McCrea. Scratch from the order. As well as Marie-Antoinette Levis-Loribi, riding for the Philippines. She will only be riding one horse today. And we've also been advised of another scratch. That is for Christine McCrea, also rides for Candy Tribble of East Windsor, Connecticut. She will not be riding Nectarina B today. Coming up to the starting time today, our first horse should be with us at the gate momentarily, and we'll be underway with the Wesley Clover Parks sponsored Capital Classic, the FEI Class 4 today. Prize money of $37,100. Wesley Clover Parks, our host this week for the Ottawa tournaments. More than an equestrian park, it is an innovative four-season outdoor recreation and learning hub. And we get going today with number 259. First in the order is Rebelle Moon Z, an 11-year-old ridden up to last year by the owner Benjamin Pinto from Santiago, Chile. In the irons for this class, Lauren Hayes from the Hockley Valley in Ontario.
Well, Lauren is an experienced rider. We're going to say that she's going to be the pathfinder today. That's the unlucky position of going first. She's bringing her horse into the ring and stopping by a few of the jumps and just letting them have a little bit of a sneak peek before she gets started.
81.98 on the clock today. Time allowed at 79 seconds. The reference time for the first ride again, 81.98. The jury will monitor that. Deanna, as they typically do for these classes.
Well, our Pathfinder did a fantastic job. This chestnut mare jumped like a house on fire. Lauren really attacked the course. Couldn't be happier with the performance of this horse. And so you want to see a 0 on the board, and we'll see if the jury is going to adjust the time allowed. But a fantastic start to the Grand Prix, or the class we're seeing today.
Over to number 631. Being the signal to start now for LUTZ of RAMSAY Equestrian Incorporated, Victoria, BC, ridden by Ali Ramsey. Another clear round, a fast one this time, 77.59 in the time allowed of 79 seconds.
Well, Ali did a wonderful ride on this chestnut gelding. Made it look effortless. You could tell she had a plan and a strategy and rode every stride, every jump, and she's thrilled with this young horse's performance. Congratulations.
425 came in the gate. They're the next in the order. 425 is Truman, a 10-year-old Saint Français gelding, an entry of Millerbrook Farm of Perth, Ontario, and Canadian Olympian Amy Millar. Home in the time and clear. This time for Amy Millar and Truman. 76.91 was the time. A quick tour of the course.
Great to see Amy back in the saddle. Just a year ago, she had her second child, and such a strong competitor, the Millar clan here, and nothing makes her prouder than being able to put a score of 0 on the board, and presently the third person to put a clear on the scoreboard today. Great jumping here in Ottawa today, and the course is proving to be challenging enough. So I hear from my jump judge that the time allowed is going to stand. So unfortunately, our first rider had the time fault. So we have 2 riders with clear rounds.
Le temps ne change pas, 79 secondes, le temps alloué pour la première ronde de la classique de la capitale. 2 qui ont complété sans faute, Amy Millar, Ali Ramsay. 407 at the ring now, le 407 Fantasy BB, 9-year-old Dutch warm blood mare, owned by Candy Tribble, monté par Jonathan McCrea. Hey, jumping faults today for Jonathan McCrea and Fantasy BB. 8 points de pénalité de temps, exceeding the time allowed at 80.59, earns him 1 more, total de 9 points de pénalité.
Interesting, this just a 9-year-old bay mare, Fantasy BB. I thought showed a lot of really good things today. Doesn't she jump right up over those big wide oxers, uses her hind end, and I think it got a real champion there in the making with this young mare. It's a nice, big, attractive course for her today. Lots of challenges and one to watch in the future.
Number 595 next in the order. This is CORALISSA, a 9-year-old Holsteiner mare, an entry of Marble Hill Farm of Schaumburg, Ontario, ridden by up-and-coming star Sam Walker. Over the big oxer at the end of the course for Sam Walker with a clear ride today, 76.38 on the clock.
Pretty impressive. The youngest rider in our class today, just 16 years of age, and already adding quite a lot to his resume. The 2018 McLean National Champion, just the third Canadian ever to win that, and also named to the 2019 North American Young Rider Team, heading to New York next month. So all the best to this young rider representing Canada.
So Deanna, we'll go to number 249, the next in the order, Le 249, Ridley, a 13-year-old Canadian sport horse gelding owned by Ariel Grange of Cheltenham, Ontario. The ride goes to Brady Hayes of Richmond Hill. It was ridden by Danielle Coyle up to last year. Rails down late in the course today for Brady Hayes and Ridley. 8 jumping faults. 8 bonnes pénalités de saut en 84-76. 2 de temps. Total of 10 today. 8 jumping, 2 time.
Great effort from this Canadian sport horse, one of the only ones we have in the field today. And the track is posing some interesting questions. Those 2 verticals at the end, 11A and B. Remember, we got meter 45 in height. That's 4'9", and the last jump on course, when I spoke with the course designer Olaf, said, you know, just that attraction to the outgate, also has the blue Liverpool underneath. Lots of different questions and tests today, and we're going to see the rails come from all over, but today for our rider came towards the end of the course.
And Deanna, does the second jump beside it make a difference? Does it look a little more crowded to the horses and maybe shoot them to the in-gate a little more, or does that make a difference?
Yeah, good question. With number 1 being so close to number 12, there's a question that the horse, are they getting their eye on it soon enough? And believe me, they have that left eye looking out the outgate where all their friends are sitting as well, meaning their horse friends. So lots of challenges. Remember, the course designer can challenge you by not just the height and width, but also where does he place the jump on course today and what equipment will he use today.
Moving on in the order to number 422 now. This is a 12-year-old Dutch warm blood mare, CACHAREL, owned by Donna van der Voode, the Diamond of Brantford, Ontario. KELLEY SOLEAU-MILLAR is the rider. Rides for the United States. Spent the winter in Wellington, came up to the Caledon competition, and straight here to Ottawa. What a shame, a rail right at the end of the course and over the time, but only just 79.66. One time fault for jumping faults.
Such a beautiful gray mare and so expressive. I love watching her jump. You see how she kicks up with her hind end and uses her tail. It looks like she's almost slapping Kelly in the back of her helmet with her tail. Such a beautiful horse to watch. Gives such great form and technique.
Number 499 at the center of the ring now, a Canadian rider, Kelly Robinson. A Canadian horse, homebred, Blues Your Daddy. 12-year-old gelding. The entry of Cimarron Farms in Kelly Robinson. Twelve jumping faults today in 80-43 for one more on the clock.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looked like a little bit of a miscommunication on the way down to the triple bar. And the triple bar today is set at 1.45 by 1.90 in width. So it's a jump that, you know, obviously most out here require a good technical ride to. That's like 4'9" high and 6'2" wide. So when the takeoff spot is a bit blurred like that one, there's not a lot of hope in keeping all the rails up. And then we saw the horse got a bit distracted after it had that mistake. Sometimes they can't leave it, and it carried on to the second or third jump that followed, unfortunately for Kelly today.
C'est en performance avec 12 points de pénalité de saut, une faute de temps pour Kelly Robinson et Blues Your Daddy. 253 at the ring now, le 253 sur le parcours. This is Gisborne VDL, an 8-year-old KWPN registered Dutch warm blood gelding, purchased by Ariel Grange from Magnus Osterod of Sweden. The ride goes to HYDE MOFFATT of Brantford, Ontario. Just over the time, 80:51 on the clock. 4 faults on the jumps, 1 on the clock. Total of 5. Total de 5 points de pénalité pour HYDE, MOFFATT et Gisborne. 4 de ça, une faute de temps.
What an impressive horse we've seen today. Just 8 years of age, the youngest one in the field today. Lots of promise and great for HYDE. Congratulations for being named to the Canadian team earlier this winter. Got to get sized up for his new red jacket and was representing the team in Wellington, Florida earlier this year. And looks like he's got some really nice horse star power coming up as well. So congratulations on your accomplishment today, and nice horse in the making.
So don't forget, as you're watching, you can call your friends at home and invite them to watch as well. We are streaming this live, Facebook, Horse Network, and if you can go to Facebook or on the webpage for Wesley Clover Parks, you'll find the links for the webcast. Your friends can watch at home while you're watching here. 564 walking in the gate, the next in the order. This is Count Me In, a 12-year-old Hanoverian gelding owned by Sandy Lupton, Canadian Olympian in the irons, BETH Underhill.
Beth has had a great season thus far with Count Me In earlier this week in Ottawa, and congratulations to Beth. She's been named as a traveling alternate that will represent Canada at the Pan Am Games coming up soon in Lima, Peru.
Just in the time, 78:49, a clear round. Parcours sans faute pour BETH Underhill et Count Me In du Canada.
Well, Beth will be happy with that. This horse looked really on his game today. He looked sharp and competitive, which will put her in good standing now as she waits to return for the jump off. Great looking horse, great tail action. He kept great speed on the course today and looked like he was just playing with these obstacles.
Number 716 jumps next. Coming into the ring just through the center of the ring is DG. This is a stallion, a Dutch warm blood stallion, 11 years old, an entry of Juniper Farms of Oxford Mills, Ontario, purchased from Nayer Nassar of Egypt. The rider is Julia Madigan from Vancouver, British Columbia. Hey, jumping faults, a time of 80-34. 9 altogether, 9 points de pénalité. 8 de saut, 1 de temps.
Julia, certainly one to watch. Had some success last year in the Under-25 Championship at the Royal Winter Fair. Had an early rail at number 4, those solid colored rails, and then late on course. The horse got a little inverted on his way down to 11A, and those verticals today, they're going to catch you if you just can't set that horse up soon enough. Remember, 1.45 and height and width is the track today.
Number 427, walking past the grandstands now, will be next on course. This is Cristiano, a Brandenburg gelding, 9 years old. Entry of Future Adventures was purchased by Future Adventures from Tim Hendricks in the Netherlands last year. A ride for the nation's capital's own Captain Canada, Amy Millar. Over the last and across the finish line, just over the time at 80.2 with one rail down at number 3.
The gelding with the just 9 years of age caught that early rail at number 3. It's very airy, and maybe the greenness of this horse just kind of made him catch his attention a little bit. But with Captain Canada in the irons, this horse will get lots of experience, and actually was very careful and very technically sound after he had that early rail down at number 3.
Over to number 103 now, le 103, CORETTE. Jument de 12 ans, a 12-year-old KWPN mare. Entry of Angelstone Farms of Acton, Ontario, ridden by KEEAN White. 12 jumping, 8 time faults today with a refusal, a costly error there, 1:10:34 on the clock, 12 pénalités de saut, 8 de temps.
Well, hats off to KEEAN. He really put the wheels back on. The horse started off very fractious by the in-gate and even the approach to number 1 and had a bad rail down at number 3, but he kind of regrouped, did a circle, and gave the horse a brilliant ride all the way through and put some valuable time and energy into the horse, and well-deserved pat there. So hats off to you, KEEAN.
Number 630 will jump next. There's 630 Casino, 11-year-old Oldenburg gelding, a RAMSAY Equestrian Incorporated entry, and Ali Ramsey with 3 seasons under her belt with Casino.
Well, Ali's on course with her second mount, Casino, and she had a win earlier this week. Actually, her first time traveling here to the Ottawa Horse Show, and her first time win with this horse in an FEI class, 11-year-old mare. Jumping, just eating up the green grass here today and the jumps. This young rider, you know, just 27 years of age, really starting to come into her own. And you can tell, I can see a lot of influences from her trainer, Jill Hinselwood, just in her own style and technique and riding with a definite plan and a definite connection. And she's doing it today.
And Diana, she's home in 77 seconds, 77:31 for the 5th clear ride here in the $37,000 Wesley Clover Parks Capital Classic.
And that was great to watch, wasn't it? That's the first time that Ali has made it here to compete at the Ottawa Horse Show. And this horse, Casino, had a win, actually the first FEI win with this horse as well. So great to have her here in Ottawa, and she's definitely enjoying the Grand Prix field and giving us another clear round to put us into the jump-off.
We'll move on in the order next to number 184, Le 184. This bridle number assigned to Cool Down, a 12-year-old Hanoverian gelding owned by the AEI Corporation of Burlington, Ontario. The rider is Veronica Bott from Burlington.
Another young gun, Veronica, just 23 years of age. And she has a lot of good things to say about her 12-year-old Hanoverian gelding. He's brave and he's powerful, and but it's important to keep them together. Connection's important, you know, when you're on course, especially in a big open galloping field like this. Horses get going, and as they hit jump number 7 and 8, the 12-foot stride starts to open, and the course designer has set those tests up where he might make you gallop, like after she goes over number 5. Look at the long approach that she has all the way to 6A and B, and he's played with that distance between 6A and B. So this is where the rider needs to bring the horse back and shorten the stride up so the horse is able to make that combination one stride. Lots of tests on the meter 45 course today. Oxer, really big wide oxer coming in, and then a skinny oxer on the way out. She makes her trip around now to the vertical, and it's a bending line to the triple bar, which is a meter 45 in height and a meter 90 in width. Coming to the final line now, we've got 11A and B, 2 very tall, delicate verticals, 2 strides, and then the last jump on course, number 12, is right by the outgate, square oxer, Liverpool underneath.
Nice ride over the jumps, no penalty points today, but over the time allowed at 81.86 for one time fault for Veronica Botten, cool down 3.
Yeah, she did a great ride. Handled all the technical questions. Remember that time allowed can be something that the course designer may test the riders on. You got to kind of have a clock in the back of your mind saying, if I go a little further on this corner, then I need to shave off the approach to that one. But she'll be pretty thrilled with herself that she was able to keep all the jumps up. But again, time allowed, you've got to keep that in the back of your mind today.
Le 384 sur le parcours maintenant, PICADOR. This is a 12-year-old Anglo-European sport gelding owned by Nicholas Hacking, who rode this horse to the end of last season, taken over by Jordan Coyle of Ireland.
And what a season Jordan is having with this horse thus far. He's returned from Spruce Meadows where he won 4 5-star classes in a single week. So he's pretty comfortable with this horse. And remember, Spruce Meadows is on a beautiful big green grass field like this, which we know the Irish lads and their horses enjoy. Most horses really enjoy jumping on the big open green fields. And the course designers used 3 combinations. We started out with the vertical oxer, and then we're going to come now on his approach to the oxer, and then we finish with vertical. So the course designer tries never to ask the same questions, keep changing it up. So no triple combination today, but 3 double combinations. He's keeping a great pace. Don't think the time allowed should get this guy. Makes his approach now to the final jump on course. He's clear.
Clear, but just over the time, Deanna. 80.64 on that clock. Just over. One time fault for Jordan Coyle and Picador.
Little surprising, you know. He kept a pretty good gallop, but he got caught today. Well, that is certainly a heartbreak. I was going to say, you know, he kept a pretty good gallop all the way through that course, but if you just kind of ease off on the gas pedal, that's the beauty of these course designers. They know they can kind of trap you into being a bit too careful, a bit too cautious around the ends. You've got to keep that clock in the back of your mind and keep the corners neat and tidy, and you've also got to stay on that big old gallop and keep all the jumps up at the same time.
So, Diana, as you know, the interest of the committee and everyone on horse show grounds is to keep the well-being of the horses at paramount importance. They are dragging the warm-up arena right now. That gives all the competitors an equal advantage. The footing has to be attended to, watered, and dragged so that everybody gets the same footing for a warm-up. So that'll put us back just about a minute now before we see the next. Don't forget, you can call your friends at home, remind them that they can watch while you're watching live here. 4 places they can go online to watch the competition today. It's being webcast on Horse Network Live, Horse Network Facebook, Horse Network YouTube, and on the Wesley Clover Parks website, where you can find the links for the competition today. We've seen the first half of the first round of the Wesley Clover Parks FEI Capital Classic, $37,000 in prize money today, and we have 5 so far that have gone clear. We'll see CORALISSA and Sam Walker back for the jump off. Amy Millar was clear with TRUMAN. Ali Ramsay clear with Casino and with LUTZ. And also Count Me In and BETH Underhill. Those are so far the clear rides that we've seen on this beautiful field. We had a little bit of rain last week. We had some rain this week, but this field took it all and bounced back beautifully, considering we've already had 1 week of competition here.
Well, we've had great show jumping thus far. Look at our people that are going to come to the jump off. You got the youngest rider in the field, Sam Walker, 16 years of age. RAMSAY has qualified 2 horses to come back in the jump off. What a great situation for her. BETH Underhill heading towards the to Lima, Peru for the Pan Ams. An Olympian as well. So far we've got a great field coming back in the jump off. Amy Millar as well will be jumping off. So the jumping thus far has been great. The course, I thought, offered a lot of interesting tests with the material he's used, the placement of the jumps, the distances that he's used. The horses have jumped up and handled them actually quite well. So we're looking for a great squad that will come back and do the jump off, and the conditions today are just perfect for good equestrian sport.
And Deanna, you've seen jumping venues around the world. This venue has only been running for 5 years, well seasoned already. Looks like a venue that's been running for tens of years with the setup, with the quality of the footing. The people who want to come, we have Canada, Ireland, Israel, the Philippines, and the United States represented here, again, only in the 5th anniversary of the Ottawa tournaments. .282 coming to the in-gate, another Canadian Olympian, Jill Henselwood, will be next on course with the Juniper Farms entry REBELLE, a 10-year-old Dutch warm-blood gelding.
Yeah, this young 10-year-old gelding is really handling the course well thus far. You know, got an excellent pilot with Jill Henselwood. Her student, RAMSAY, already qualified for the jump off with 2. As I mentioned earlier, you can see similar characteristics in the style that Ali has taken from Jill's mentoring. Really uses his hind end and stretches it up. Remember, the horses have to be able to jump high, but they also have to be able to jump wide and clear with the hind end, and you want those horses to really use the hind end and give that great bascule in the air. Yeah, that vertical is, you know, that 4'9" vertical coming into the gobble collar. He got a little high behind the ears, is a bit stiff behind the pole, and that caught. That's the jump that's going to catch a horse like this.
Perfectly timed on that course, though. 78.82 to a time allowed of 79 for Jill Henselwood, and REBELLE just gives her the 4 faults at the vertical at 11.
Yeah, wonderful trip. Great horse in the making. This is just a 10-year-old gelding. Handled those oxers around the course, and as he just came around to that last 11A, B, got a little stiff in the bridle, and he just caught. Those verticals are so delicate now. The cups are flatter, the pole equipment is lighter, and just not in the most perfect frame to answer that test at the end of the course.
Number 618 is up next. Le 618 sur le parcours maintenant. Sita, owned by Ariel Grange for the past 3 years, a 13-year-old Belgian mare, ridden by Daniel Coyle from Ireland.
Great to have Daniel here. You know, he's number 55 in the world ranking, and actually he's just 25 years of age, also on the under 25. He's number 3 in the world. So this young gun who came to Canada not long ago, working at out of Lothlorien Farm, has really matured here on Canadian soil, and real natural rider who has the ability to sit a horse well, not get in its way, and bring out the best it can. And all the Irish guys I ever talked to, you know, they never entered a competition that they can't win. So this guy is so comfortable with speed. Had a successful Spruce Meadows summer circuit as well. So these horses are coming off being out west on the green field as well. And I got to tell you, Ireland, the country, has more riders in the top 50 than any other country. So they're doing well all over the world, and certainly hungry as the European Championships and the Olympics are coming up as well. I love that we have this little mare. You know, she's not very big, but in this class we have so many different types of horses, big and small, same as riders. Oh boy, she was careful in front, but just dragged those hind toes, and that jump is not going to take that kind of rub.
Across the finish line, that time is 79.32, just over one time fault. Again, 11A, the offending vertical here for the 4 jumping faults. For Daniel Coyle and Sita, il termine avec 4 points de pénalité de saut, une faute de temps.
Very efficient ride and just effortless for this little bay mare. Just coming in so careful with the front end at 11A, but just didn't keep the hind end following through and tucked up, and just dragged that with the hind end, unfortunately, to put the 4 faults on the scoreboard today.
So making our way down from the warm-up area, the next in the order today, number 428 will join us momentarily as we watch this. Again, you can watch it live online. Go to the Wesley Clover website. You'll find the links there for the webcast. All the action brought to you of what you're watching live. We are in the first round. Nous sommes dans la première ronde de la Classique de la Capitale. Wesley Clover Parks, the sponsors of this class. .428 is next in the gate now. The cut summit meet Calvin Klein, 15-year-old Swedish warm blood gelding, previously ridden by Jonathan Miller. This is Brook Street Stables Corporation and Karen Sparks. Yep, she's 8.
11 left, and
She's 8.
thank you, Jen. Thanks, Jen and Avery.
So right away we're seeing this rider have a great opening gallop. Going later in the field, we know the time allowed has been a little bit of a question if you didn't keep that tempo up all the way around. This is a big horse, well over 17 hands high. Finding it easy to go down that line and jump 3 to 4s and 5 strides. Careful test now with the plank on the end. See how and then again, we need to keep galloping. This is a test right here. And trust the schooling as we jump in a very careful A and then power out over the B. Wow. Did the 8 strides down to that big wide oxer and the horse just slowed down, coiled out. The B oxer isn't as wide as the A. You could see her really struggling, and he had to get the 7 strides into that triple bar, and he challenged her a little bit, but she kept to the count. Careful. Oh, careful. Came in with quite a bit of canter to that vertical, unfortunately, and the last one's down as well. It was wonderful to watch the first part of the course.
So all that distraction coming home costly here. 2 rails down right at the end of the course. The first of the verticals at 11 and the final jump. 8 jumping faults. Time is good though. It's 77.76 for Karen Sparks and Calvin Klein.
Yeah, what a heartbreaker. What beautiful tempo to watch at the very beginning of the course and all the way through. And he struggled a little bit on down to the triple bar, but she fit the 7 strides in, and then he just came around the corner and didn't respect 11A, and then unfortunately that 12, rightwards positioned by the outgate, caught him as well. But beautiful to watch the first part.
Number 140 now, le 140 sur le parcours, Charming Force B. This is a mare, a Dutch warm blood mare, 12 years old, owned by Cynthia Gordon and Terry Brent Stables of Orangeville, Ontario. The rider, who will be riding for Canada at the Pan American Games, Erin Ballard from Tottenham, Ontario.
Unfortunately, we've got the early rail at number 3. She's got a really good canter going on, but the horse looks like it's pulling a little bit and getting on the muscle. So we've had 2 verticals down now. Again, it's such a delicate balance where you want the horse to be taking you and carrying good tempo of pace in a big grass ring like this, but they can just get a little too flat, run you past the takeoff distance, and then those front rails start coming down. Look at that. Boy, she jumped the oxer like a house on fire. She jumped the A, and then she backed herself up right away for the B out. You know, and Erin is such a technician to ride the horse right to the end of the course and keep training on this horse and get it to start learning, and she's learning more about it, and this horse is gaining valuable mileage.
Erin Ballard and Charming Force B cross the line with 20 jumping faults, 82.40 on the clock for 1 time fault. Total de 21 points de pénalité pour la Canadienne Erin Ballard.
Well, Erin certainly showed her true technical skill by, again, keep training on this horse as it went around. Got a little green at 3 and number 5, and then she really put the wheels back on. In the middle of the course, she jumped like a house on fire over that oxer combination. But horse and rider learned valuable mileage today in this ring and learned a lot about each other. One to watch in the future for sure.
Up next, number 423, we continue with the first round of the FEI Capital Classic, sponsored by Wesley Clover Parks. A prize of $37,100, la bourse totale de $37,000 pour la Classique de la Capitale, Wesley Clover Parks. 423, an 11-year-old gelding, has been at Miller Brook Farm for 3 years. Davos, ridden by Jonathan Miller.
Jonathan came right in the ring and went over to the combination close to the VIP tent, you know, just backed the horse up because he knows that combination's a little bit tight. This is, again, a large horse with a huge stride. And that's what a horse needs to be able to do, is open its stride up and carry a big tempo around this course, but then be able to coil up and answer the test in those combinations. You see Jonathan moving the bit a little bit in his mouth and slipping the bit. He gets his head, gets shaking it the last couple strides in, but he does such a great job of just sitting still, ignoring the horse, and just riding on to the jump. Does a little bit of a bend there. You can see him do that, and then he finds a bending line and fitting that 7 strides in a little easier to the triple bar. This is going to be a careful, tight test for this big horse. Oh, made it look easy, didn't he? Oh boy! Oh, he didn't get away with it. Ah.
Last rail down for Jonathan Millar after that great ride today. Right up to the last jump, 78.06, 4 faults, 4 penaltés au dernier saut pour Jonathan Millar.
Absolutely masterful throughout the whole course. You could tell him he had the time allowed in the back of his mind, kept challenging this big horse, put a lovely bend in the Canadian flag down to the coins, the triple bar. He fit that 7 strides, and he was so, for that big horse to be so careful in 11A and B, and then just that ride by the outgate to the final jump just wasn't as smooth and as easy to get there, and unfortunately the back rail caught the horse today.
Walking in the gate, we'll see number 717. 717, the bridle number assigned to Farfelu du Printemps. That is the springtime jester. 14-year-old Belgian warm blood gelding, owned by John Madigan. Purchased or ridden up to 2 years ago by Jill Hanselwood. Now ridden by Julia Madigan of British Columbia. Her second ride in this classic.
Ooh, a little closer, number 3. Certainly another young gun to watch. Just 23 years of age. Last year won the under 25 championship at the Royal Winter Fair. Another student of Jill Hanselwood's. Riding her seasoned 14-year-old gelding. Really comfortable. You can see this partnership. Comfortable with the test today. On a really good gallop. Look at this. Keeping big speed into this very tight vertical combination. Gave herself a little bit more of a turn, and she was brilliant.
Made up for those 8 faults on her first ride nicely. 77.99 on the clock. Clear round for Julia Madigan and Farfelu du Printemps, sans faute.
Absolutely. When you've got a chance to come in now on your more of your seasoned partnered horse, and you've already been able to get the jitters out of the first round, boy, she made that look easy all the way around, and their tempo and her pace was the same from start to finish. Great ride.
6 for the jump off now as we move to the next in the order. Number 254, le 254, Grafton. This is a Selle Français stallion owned by Ariel Grange of Cheltenham, Ontario. 13-year-old. Ridden by Daniel Coyle up to 2018. HYDE MOFFATT now has the ride. Second horse for HYDE in this class.
So the second ride for HYDE coming in on the 13-year-old stallion. Just 2 stallions in the field today. Beautiful chestnut with the lots of white on the forelegs. As I had mentioned earlier, great to see HYDE with some new horsepower, and congratulations to him for being named to the Canadian team earlier this winter. Got the red jacket and really nice little turn back to jump number 7 there. Not a big horse, so that it's going to be important to keep the tempo up. See how he handles these 2 verticals now, since he had the vertical down a couple jumps ago. Look at this. Yeah. Sometimes you'd like to have that rail down a little earlier when you're in the warm-up ring, not having it midstream.
That unfortunate rail costing 4 penalty points today for HYDE, MOFFATT, and Grafton. 75-47 on the clock. Puts him well in the time. 4 points de pénalité de 2 sauts dans le temps en 75-47.
Yeah, jump number 9. We haven't seen it come down. It's a meter 45 airy vertical. You can see a lot of air between the 3 poles, and but didn't he come back and jump 11A/B like a house on fire? So that kind of woke him up a little bit later on. But an unfortunate 4 faults at the Canadian vertical.
Up next, number 426, Ericsson, came to Millerbrook Farm from the Netherlands in 2016. This 10-year-old KWPN registered Dutch warm blood gelding. Another ride for Amy Millar.
Great to see Amy back in the saddle. Just a year ago, she gave birth to her 2nd child, but she said she was just couldn't wait to get back on the horses, and she's hungry to ride and hungry to compete. Lots of new horses and young horses these riders are bringing along. If they've missed the Pan Ams this year, then they're still working on now 2020, the Olympics in Tokyo. They're bringing a lot of their new horses and young stock along. Wow, do you see that? She did that in 6 strides. She was very direct. She didn't bow it out. Now let's see if she can bring him back and still be able to coil him up for these 2 verticals. Yeah, she does it. She doesn't want to have any time faults. She wants a perfect score of 0.
And she's got it, 78-41. 2 horses qualified for the jump off now by Amy Millar. She'll be back with TRUMAN and with Ericsson.
Wow, she was really challenging the clock today. She did the Canadian vertical down to the coins in some of the riders have been doing it and bowing it out in 7. She went in a direct 6. And then I was worried about the 2 verticals, but she trusted her schooling, and this young horse really rose to the challenge today. She opened up the gas pedal, and she asked him to come back. And she's, like you said, Jeff, she's got 2 horses coming back for the jump-off. Every rider's dream.
Great to see her back here at Ottawa. The only Irish sport horse competing here today is at the arena now, number 383. This is 14-year-old Dundalk, an entry of a land farm of Newark, New Jersey. The rider is Stella Manship.
Interesting, this rider starting the course on the right lead. That's one thing about this course center. He's giving you the opening vertical that you could take the jump off the left or the right lead. And, you know, some people like to start the course on the horse or their stronger side or stronger lead. Oh, she got a little rub on the A. The pole actually jumped up and came right back in the cups, but unfortunately the B is down. Haven't seen it. That people didn't have as much, I don't think, trouble in that combination as Olaf had thought. He gave them a long galloping opportunity to the combination and set a little bit of a quiet distance there. Wow, and you could see she had a 6 in her mind. I could tell way back when she approached the Canada vertical there, and a big long strided horse as well, and she came very direct in the 6.
Just the 4.
She might be on 4 faults, but she's going to try to be the fastest of the 4 faulters.
So, Diane, as you said, a surprising 4 on that Oxer, 4 points de pénalité, 78-35 le chrono. Just the 4 faults today for Stella Manship with Dundalk.
The big horse had a wonderful gallop from start to finish. Just there's a very careful combination there. Got very lucky on the A part. The pole actually jumped in the cups, but unlucky on the B part. And then he kept his legs up for the rest of the trip and kept it down to just the 4 faults.
Yeah, we have a new visitor to the Ottawa competitions this year, number 679, Alberto Michan, rides for Israel. He's here with El Pacho, a 10-year-old Dutch warm blood gelding.
Great to see Alberto here, a Mexican rider that's recently changed his citizenship and riding for Team Israel. He was part of Team Israel at the World Equestrian Games in 2018. And Israel has actually qualified for the Olympics in 2020. So I think you'll see this rider looking to put himself on and a horse rider combination on that team in a couple years from now. No, he's a great rider with a wonderful resume. He did represent Mexico at the 2008 Olympics, and individually he was tied in 5th place. He's got just a fabulous resume to see. Taking his time now as he just brings the horse around to the double verticals on his way now to this last auction, which has caused some problems for people on course.
Un recorrido sin faltos. Alberto Michan y El Pacho completan sin faltas un parcours sans faute en 78-79. A clear round, 78-79 on the clock.
Yes, Alberto did a wonderful job, made it look like a master class, handling all the verticals, the oxers, the time allowed as well. And this horse kept himself in beautiful jumping form as the tempo and the pace kept increasing all the way around. Wonderful to watch today.
So we go from the Mexican rider, switch to nationalities to Israel, to an Irish rider. Now this is Jordan Coyle back in the ring, this time with Tegan Tracy's Colorado, a 16-year-old Belgian gelding.
Jordan's had a great summer thus far. He was at Spruce Meadows for the summer series. He won 4 5-star classes in a single week. Very comfortable with the big open green fields. unfortunately had a time fault in the first round with his horse, so he'd be looking to keep all the jumps up and just a little bit faster and get himself to the jump off. Interesting style. He rides very vertical, longer rein as well. Little deeper seat, the Irish do. Oh. And he had 6 in his mind, you could tell, as he started maybe just rushing the 6 a little bit too early as he took off on the vertical and got caught there. And it's kind of coming with him as well on the home stretch.
Well, unfortunate, missed his first jump-off opportunity by just 1 second on this one. 12 jumping faults for Jordan Coyle in Colorado.
Yeah, really unfortunate. You know, you could tell he was riding that line. He was going to come very direct in 6, whether he just maybe rode a little bit too soon and had that early vertical down. Then it seemed to follow him to the combination and then just lost his sync on the way to jump number 12.
6:28 next. We're coming down to the bottom of the order in the first round of the Wesley Clover Parks Capital Classic, la classique de la capitale Wesley Clover. Une classe avec bourse totale de 37 000 $. Le 628 sur le parcours. Propriétaire et cavalière Nicole Walker de l'Ontario. This is Excellent B, a 10-year-old Dutch warm blood gelding owned and ridden by Nicole Walker from Aurora, Ontario.
Well, Nicole has certainly been enjoying a wonderful breakout year in 2019. She finished 2018 being the Royal Winter Fair Canadian champion, and then 2019 was called to the Canadian equestrian team, received her red jacket, and has already ridden on Nations Cup team in Florida, Mexico, and Thunderbird. And now she is heading to Lima, Peru, and will represent Canada at the Pan Am Games. So real impressive resume on this young equestrian. She's calling on this young 10-year-old bay gelding Falco will be her Pan Am horse. But I've been really just impressed with her just maturity and her sophistication. And she's been doing what she's supposed to do and put in a lot of double clear rounds in Nations Cups, and that's what Canada will need. Canada needs to place in the top 3 if the Americans are on the podium, the top 4 if we want to get to the next Olympics. So lots of pressure on Team Canada, and this young rider has really handled the pressure riding for her team in the Nations Cups this winter.
$78.67, very close but clear. No jumping, no time fault. 78-67, 9 pour le barrage. The 9th rider to complete fault-free in the first round.
Yeah, and what a ride for Nicole Walker. That's why she's on the Canadian equestrian team and heading to Lima, Peru next week. She's done what she's been doing all winter, and that's been putting perfect scores of 0 when she's been riding for Team Canada. So Team Canada needs to get a medal in Lima, Peru if we want to go to the next Olympics. So we're pleased that Nicole Walker is continuing on her clean winning streak here by putting a 0 on the scoreboard, and we'll see her in the jump off later on.
Number 617, center ring, le 617 au centre du parcours. 9-year-old Zangescheidemare Legacy, acquired from Belgian rider Annelies Wursemans in 2018 by Ariel Grange, giving the ride to Daniel Coyle.
jumped him off.
It's really jumping up in the air, this one, and you see how it started anticipating the turn over that combination, really drifted, or just started anticipating the turn, which is great for the time allowed. But again, if the horse starts turning in the air too soon, that's when they can have a rail down behind by cutting down their arc. Looks like he's going to bow this one out. Great contrast in the rider before, came straight down. His brother in the 6, he put a little bit of a gentle bow in that just to make it in 7, which then slows him down and gets him to these 2 verticals. There's a real strategy, right? How to handle these jumps. Oh boy, he's really putting the leg on.
Just over the last, Daniel Coyle, Irish style over the final oxer with Legacy. Got him home in time and clear.
Wow, that is great riding. He was so careful and beautiful over 11A and B and took his time to the combination. And then that horse looked like he just slipped behind his leg a little bit, and he dug deep in the saddle and deep in the spur, and he rode that horse over the final jump. Congratulations. We'll see you in the jump off, Daniel.
Ten for the jump off so far. We have 2 more to see in the first round. Encore 2 à voir dans la première ronde. Le 106 sur le parcours maintenant. Number 106, Edison P. 10-year-old KWPN registered Dutch warm blood gelding. This entry owned by Holter Leasing, Stahl Hendricks, and Looking Back Farm of Tottenham, Ontario. A second ride for Aaron Ballard.
Yes, Aaron's sitting on some serious horsepower. It's great to see that Aaron's cracked the top 100. She's presently sitting number 99 in the world ranking. A girl that can ride a lot of different types of horses in the jumpers and the hunter ring, and of course did very well in the equitation finals. One of only 3 Canadians ever to win the McClay final in the States. Represented Canada proudly last year at the World Equestrian Games in Tryon, North Carolina, and will be heading to Lima, Peru, and riding for Canada on the Pan Am team. Now let's see if she's going to do the straight 6 or a little bit of a bow 7. Yeah. She went for the straight 6. Now can she calm him down and answer this careful test? Vertical, vertical. 2 strides. Oh, almost.
What a shame.
But a great ride in number 12. Didn't lose his concentration, and what a late rail.
Too bad for Aaron Ballard and Edison P. 2 rails down right at the end of the course. Just over the time to at 80.39. Total de 9 points de pénalité pour la Canadienne Aaron Ballard et Edison P. qui complète avec 8 points de pénalité de saut et une faute de temps. Total de 9 points de pénalité. Final horse now for the first round, le dernier cheval pour la première ronde de la classique de la capitale Wesley Clover Parks. Di Sarono VT, 16-year-old Belgian gelding, owned by Morgan Dickerson of Pasadena, California, ridden by Marie-Antoinette Leviste for the Philippines.
Great to have this rider present today. Has an impressive resume. She's been to the 2000 Sydney Olympics, the 2002 World Equestrian Games in Spain, and also represented her country at the 2018 World Equestrian Games in Tryon, North Carolina. Oh, not a good start. When you had that first jump down, you're always wondering, did I do enough in the warm-up ring? You like to have that just before you come in.
10 for the jump off. That's okay. That's a nice number. Could have been a lot more.
Again, another very tall, long bay gelding. Huge stride. He's just cantering beautifully around this big grass field. You know, jump number 1 is normally the smallest jump. It's the most inviting jump to get the horses going. Look what he's doing all the way through the course now, jumping things that are higher and wider. She put lovely, even though she did the 6 on that bending line, she put beautiful shape into it. You can tell she's really riding to a plan, an actual track in and track away.
Just the fourth.
Well, a disappointing rail at 1, but never looked back. 89.28 on the clock. Gives her 3 time faults. Just the 4 jumping faults today for Marie-Antoinette Leviste di Saronno-Viti. That completes the first round of the Classic. Ça complète la première ronde de la Classique. Elle termine avec 4 points de pénalité, 2 sauts, 3 de temps. Total de 7. So we have 10 that will return for the jump-off. 10 qui reviendront au barrage. Alberto Michan, Nicole Walker, Beth Underhill, Amy Millar, Julia Madigan, Ali Ramsay with 2, Amy Millar again, Sam Walker, and Daniel Coyle. Want a reminder of our social event this evening. Join us for the Top Shelf Distilleries Spirits Party. It is today here at the Big Capital Tent, following the Capital Classic. A chance for you to enjoy live music and complimentary food, the Steam Whistle Hoppy Hour, and Benson Bubbly Cocktail, presented by Unique Homes in Ottawa. Thank you to Nancy Benson. Our sponsors for this class, once again, Wesley Clover Parks joining the impressive group of sponsors for today's classes: Aecon, Lepine Luxury Apartments, Jenkin Barta Family, Sinclair Children's Residence, and Cabana Coast. Also want to remind all riders to take advantage of the Struck Apparel sponsored lounge located beside the Grand Prix ingates. The Ottawa Equestrian Tournament competitors have a chance to relax in the riders lounge throughout the competition. A shorter course now for the jump-off. Course designer Olaf Peterson Jr. from Germany has set a course of 350 meters for the jump-off, has allowed 56 seconds for this jump-off round. 10 will return to challenge the course. And Deanna, in show jumping, you're not riding against each other, are you? You're all riding against the course. The course is what you're out there to beat.
Absolutely, and of course the jump off, the secret is just basically keep all the jumps up and go as fast as you can. It's an interesting jump off course as well. There's going to be opportunity to make tighter turns, some galloping opportunities. Where the jump off course is going to be 1, 2, 3. So that's the first 3 jumps. And then we're going to do a hard right-hand turn and find the 6A-B combination over close to the VIP tent. And then we do 7 as well. And there's 2 new jumps. Jump number 14, which is going to be the Athens Coins, which was the triple bar. Now it's going to be a vertical. And then the final jump on course will be jump number 15, which was part of the double verticals. So they're going to end on a large gallop, long gallop towards the outgate. So 1, 2, 3, 6A, B, 7, 14, 15.
A challenging course, and Olaf Peterson, of course, on the field working with his crew, making sure everything is set. The jumps are beautiful. Brody Robertson, designer and builder of these obstacles, provides them for the Ottawa tournaments every year. But not only the jumps that are in the ring and where they're placed, the decoration, very important. This place looks beautiful every year. Thank you to Evie Frisk, the course decorator. So for those of you watching at home, a little bit of a break here. For those of you on the grounds, a little bit of an opportunity to stretch. I hope you're enjoying yourselves in the tent. And of course, the Steam Whistle Pavilion located at the far end of the VIP tent. Very popular place throughout the week. Steam Whistle Pavilion is a spot where the competitors can sit after the round, maybe somewhere to relax if they're not jumping in the class. Food and cold refreshments open all day long beside the Grand Prix field. And again, let me remind you that at 6 o'clock today, the Top Shelf Distillers Spirits Party is underway. Everyone is welcome. Everyone is invited. Takes place in the big tent just in front of you, the VIP tent, the Capital tent as we know it. Following this Capital Classic, you can enjoy live music, complimentary food, steam whistle hoppy hour, and as I mentioned earlier, Benson Bubbly, a cocktail presented by Unique Homes in Ottawa by Nancy Benson. So again, 10 yet to come. Encore 10 à voir aujourd'hui pour le barrage. 10 coming back for the jump off today. An exciting jump off coming up next.
And Jeff, what a jump off it's going to be. We've got a variety of riders here. The youngest in this field is 16 years of age with Sam Walker, and we have an Olympian star of Beth Underhill. Our horses as well. We've got a 9-year-old And then we've got some older campaigners and horses that are very familiar with the jump off, and they're good partners. They've been campaigned for a while. The jump off is going to be fast. It's going to be quick. We're going to see how these riders trust their schooling and what kind of risk takers do they feel like being today.
Number 631, first to jump off today, Ali, Ramsay, and LUTZ. Le numéro 631.
So Allie's our pathfinder today in the jump off on a relatively new mount for her. She's starting off with a great gallop. Oh boy, he reached for that one, didn't he? He jumped up, just didn't cover the height and the width. Remember, they're 1.45 high and wide, but I saw the course designer out there putting a few of the jumps up. Love this chestnut, and with a big white bold face. We call it a bald face. And even though she had that early rail down, look, she's still training on this horse. She's still getting to know this horse. She still wants to be the fastest of the four falters and let those people that are going to follow her challenge her. Here's the final on course, jump number 15.
Time of 41.49 with 4 faults in that jump off for Ali and Lutz. 41.49 le chrono, 4 pénalités au barrage.
Well, Allie was number 1 to go, and her job is to be the pathfinder, the trailblazer, and she did just that. She set the gallop high. She had a plan. Was a little bit long on that number 2, so had the rail down, but you never saw her take her foot off the gas. She wanted to train this horse. She wanted to learn about this horse, how much she can push and lead the strides out and challenge the clock. That's what all the jump off is about now. We're going to trust the training. What's the risk you're going to take? And she's going to make everyone else now challenge her and chase her a little bit, and we'll see her come back on her second mount.
.425 walking in the gate, le 425 maintenant, Amy Millar avec Truman.
And Amy will certainly be challenging the clock. I watched this horse go earlier this winter in Wellington, and he's an interesting type. He's a bit of a slow mover, slow thinker, and I remember Ian saying, you know, and they're going to work on just making him a little bit faster. He's comfortable jumping and at a comfortable speed, and now you're going to train them to just pick up a higher tempo and keep that all the way around the course. So 1, 2, 3, and over this one, you see her taking a little bit of a slice already, and then we're going to roll back now and find the combination on course, 6AB, and then start turning, find number 7. Number 14 is the triple bar, which is now a vertical. Look at her angle that from left to right. Beautiful. And then the final jump, the combination is now just 1, and it's an oxer. Jump number 15. She's done it.
Nice clear round for Amy Millar and Truman. 41.53 on the clock. 41.53. That is the time to beat.
Keeping all the jumps up and putting the fastest time. Now she can sit and let everyone chase her time as well. Great clear round by Amy Millar.
Sam Walker's up next with the Marble Hill Farm entry, 9-year-old Holsteiner mare CORALISSA, le 595.
Just 16 years of age, you know, this young Sam Walker. I'm pretty impressed with his level of sophistication and just the calmness that he comes in. He travels all over the country riding horses. He's got a great knack for riding different types of horses, from the junior amateurs to this FEI open jumper class. As soon as the horse lands, he's already asking it to move forward. Oh, and there's the risk you take, right? He sliced it, he kept a big gallop, and the horse just wasn't as careful. And now he's starting to turn in the air, and the horse, you can see he had that down with the hind end, just starting to lose its technical form as it travels in the higher speed.
Young Time Walker and CORALISSA home in 41.97, a quick time, but that's with 8 jumping faults. 8 pénalités de saut au barrage en 41.97.
Yeah, it was great to watch this young gun at 16 years of age go out and tackle this big track. Really did all the slicing on number 3. And as we start traveling at higher speeds and taking these severe angles, the horses will start losing some of their technical form. That's where we saw number 3 come down. And the same thing with the vertical over by the VIP tent. He actually almost started to turn in the air, started anticipating the turn, and he dragged his hind end. But he never took his foot off the gas. He kept challenging the clock, kept challenging his own skill to learn to be a great jump-off rider. And all the best to Sam Walker as he goes and heads to the North American Young Riders next month in New York, riding for Team Canada.
So the riders warming up behind us. They warm up on the all-weather footing arena under the watchful eye of the FEI stewards. Moving down to the grass surface, they're allowed to warm up their final jumps over the grass or on the grass surface, so they're on the similar footing that they will see in the ring. Waiting for our next to complete their warm-up and join us here in the arena. Top 10 will be back for the award ceremony following this jump-off. Final class of the day here in the International Arena, sponsored by Wesley Clover Parks, the $37,000 purse in the FEI Capital Classic. Count me in at the arena now with Beth Underhill, number 564, le 564 pour le barrage.
Beth's first round was really, I thought the horse was in fine form, had a great pace, but he looked like he really wanted to do his job, his form, his technique over the verticals, the oxers. He was just kind of just challenged and up for the challenge. She's had some great success here earlier with in last week in Ottawa. So look at her. She's already giving this kind of a horse a big galloping opportunity, winding him up almost for jump number 1. He loves the grass, loves to carry a big open. They say horses they travel faster on grass. And the conditions are great. You know, it's not wet. There's no sliding. You don't see a lot of divots on the takeoff and landing, so the corks are working on the bottoms of their feet. Again, this is a tight turn, and they have to turn left as well when they land. That's where they have to start dragging that hind end. Watch her take the approach now to the Athencoins vertical, and she's on her final approach to the big wider oxer at the home, and she's going for it.
And she's got it. A clear round 40.65, 40.65 au chrono. Nouvelle Meneuse, a new leader in this class, Beth Underhill, and count me in.
Well, this combination looked on fire in round number 1, so it's not surprising she comes back for the jump off, just as competitive and hungry to put in a clear round and logging the fastest. Now the rest of the field's going to have to chase Beth Underhill and count me in.
$717, le 717 maintenant, Farfelu du Printemps, and Julia Madigan.
Well, these two are seasoned campaigners now. If there's anyone that's going to challenge Beth and her mount, will be this combination right here. Same kind of approach, right? Left rein, gets the early gallop on. This one's not as explosive in the air. It doesn't spend as much time in the air over the jumps as Beth's horse does. So he could have a little quicker ground speed. Nice, clean, sharp turn back to the combination. Lets the horse finish before she starts turning too early. Now let's see if she'll take out any more chances now on the big final gallop to the final jump on the course.
Crossing the finish line, clearing the jump off 39.24, and the lead changes hands once again. Julia Madigan is at the top of the list.
Well, seasoned campaigners, doesn't she look like she knew this horse? She knew where she could take all the tight turns. She trusted the schooling she was on. She wound that horse up early for the approach to jump number 1. He just cleared everything exactly how much. He didn't spend too much time in the air, and she was looking always for the lines. She was beautiful at jump number 3 with the angle. And on the Athens coin, same way, she really sliced that. And I thought she had a beautiful gallop to the final jump on course. Congratulations.
And Olaf Peterson sure nailed it with this jump off course, testing the horses. 5 of the 10 have jumped off already. Julia Madigan in the lead, the time to beat 39.24, le temps à battre 39.24, mis en place par Julia Madigan et Farfelu du Printemps. Encore 5 à voir, 5 more to jump off. Number 630 just coming up to the gates will be next on course. The second ride in this jump off for Ali Ramsay, this time with Casino.
So Ali's second horse now, second attempt on course. Again, a horse she's more experienced with. She was with it at Spruce Meadows, made it to some of the bigger tracks out there. Having that luxury of having 2 horses in the jump off, you know, you kind of know the track now. And you're going later in the field, so you know what you have to do. If you want a piece of this big pie today, you're going to have to put the pedal to the metal. Look at this. She really sliced it to the last jump.
Home in 39.07, 39.07. A clear round in the jump off, and she now takes over the top spot on the leaderboard. Nouvelle Meneuse, Ali Ramsay, et Casino.
Well, Jeff, they just keep getting faster and faster here. She, I think, won it on the last 2 jumps. The Athens coin, she really hugged jump number 3 and left one stride out back to that final oxer on course. Great riding, Ali, and she takes over the lead.
Very wise, knew what she had to do, and she did it. So we'll go on to the final rides now of the jump off. So we've seen 6 of the 10, 4 more to jump off. .426, also with 2 rides today. Amy Millar warming up her second horse. Ericsson will be joining us momentarily. And Deanna, advantage or not with 2 in a jump off?
Oh, absolutely. You know, when you have two horses in the jump off, you've had a chance to go around and feel the track. And going later in the order now, you know what you have to do. You've seen your competitors go ahead of you, how many strides they've done to the last line or from jump 1 to 2. So maybe the nerves are out after the first horse, and now you even just want to go in and beat yourself and beat your own time. So I think we still got a bit of a horse race coming up, Jeff.
I hope so. It is getting exciting. And just at the gate now, just about to walk into the course again, Amy Millar, her second ride in this jump off, back in the action, back in Ottawa this year. Her dad rode this horse for her last year. She's back in the irons. Down at the in gate, not sure if you can see that. You might have a shot of it on the webcast as well. Captain Canada, Father Ian Millar, giving her the last minute instructions, a little bit of encouragement as we see Amy approach the gate now. Number 426 or 426.
So the bell rings for Amy Millar as she winds this young horse up on the approach to jump number 1. She needs to better 39.07 if she wants to take over the lead. That's one thing Amy inherited from her father, is the ability to chase in a jump off, and she's very comfortable with speed. Ooh, not the nicest ride there. He was really kind of getting forward, and she rolled back, and I think all she could see was that little bit of a deep distance, and you're wondering, going to trust the training to see if he can get those front legs out of the way, but unfortunately, 4 faults at jump number 7.
The 4 faults at 7. A nice ride otherwise for Amy Millar and Erickson. 43.82 with 4 faults. 43.82 avec 4 points d'annuité. 6th right now on the leaderboard.
Yeah, I think she really stayed to her plan of just galloping and turning and trying to find these jumps. Just a little, that turn back to jump number 7, probably a hair a little bit too deep, and he just didn't jerk his front legs out of the way enough for that. But she's really ecstatic about his performance, the way he was brave and challenged all the questions that she gave this young horse today. Again, we're asking them to travel at a much faster speed, take all these jumps at a different angle. They're not really seeing them until the last second. So lots of great tests today on the jump-off course, and just have to trust the training and see if we can keep all the rails up. And now we need to beat that 39.07.
39.07, le temps à battre. This is 6:79 starting on course El Pacho and Alberto Michan, Mexican rider inmigrado a Israel.
This combination looked very strong in the first round. I think if there's anyone that can challenge that time, it will be this pair. Oh boy, he just hung out on that turn back and got the height but didn't cover the width. It's a little bit of an odd approach from 1 to 2, a hard angle, and the horse bulged a little bit towards the right and just didn't keep a nice enough track in. And when these jumps are 1.45 meters high and wide, you have to find that optimal takeoff distance. But he's quick, eh? This horse is quick across the ground.
Over the last and across the finish line, 41.47 with 4. Fast 4 falter puts him in 5th place. 5e place à ce moment.
This would have been certainly a combination to watch. I thought they could definitely challenge the time. 1 to 2 is quite a severe angle, and just kind of lost the right shoulder on that approach. So it was a hair long, and the horse just couldn't cover the back rail, the distance on that number 2 oxer.
628 now, le 628. Getting down to the bottom of the order for this jump off. 628 is Excellent B and Nicole Walker.
So we're certainly getting used to watching Nicole put clear rounds on in the books. Now we'll see if she can put some good speed behind the clean and take this in a jump off. You got to stay on the inside line to number 2. It's a big wide oxer, great comparison to the rider before. He kind of lost the right shoulder and made that oxer, that distance, a little bit wider. Boy, that was nice, wasn't it? And kept the horse right in the middle. The horse before had caught that outside left shoulder. She's taken all the chances here. Oh. And caught up to her a little bit there on jump number 7.
So just a rail at 7, let off on the speed a little bit, coming home 41.28 with 4 faults, 41.28 avec 4 points de pénalité. Still the fastest, though, the 4 faulters taking over 5th spot on the leaderboard. 5e place à ce moment.
Well, it's nice to see Nicole in the jump off. We're used to seeing her put those perfect zeros in the Nations Cup, but it's nice to know that she's also pretty comfortable with speed and just trying out with this. This is not her Pan Am horse. This is her other horse coming up that, you know, got some really valuable mileage today. Number 1, getting into the jump off and then just testing the horses and seeing if they can handle these tight turns and traveling at faster speed.
Final ride down for the jump off. Le dernier maintenant pour le barrage, le 617 Legacy. Owned by Ariel Grange, monté par Daniel Coyle pour l'Irlande.
So Daniel has the perfect draw. He's got the last to go in a jump off. This horse and rider combination were very impressive in round number 1, which meant they handled all the tests. And Daniel is incredibly comfortable with speed. So again, another good combination to challenge Ali Ramsay's time of 39.07. He's taking his time, having a good look around. He went out a little bit, took quite a good approach and quite a square approach to number 2. Now he's starting to do the angles. This horse spends a lot of time in the air too, though, which can put extra seconds on the clock. He's got to take a little bit of time here, though. This is the one that's been coming down. And see, as soon as he lands, he stays forward and keeps just asking that horse to move. Oh! Yeah. Miscommunication there a little bit. Did the turn. Isn't that too bad? Yeah. He's going to take he hasn't won the class now, so he's just going to take his time and just regroup and find a good distance and finish his horse off.
And over the last, no doubt, a disappointed Daniel Coyle. Miscommunication there at the Olympic coins. Put him off his track, but a nice finish for the horse here at the end of the course for Legacy. 49.968 jumping faults. Of course, 4 for the rail, 4 for the circle at the last. Finishes in 10th place. Top 10 will return now for the awards ceremony. Very pleased to welcome presenters today on behalf of Wesley Clover Parks, sponsors of the class, les commanditaires, Wesley Clover Parks, les représentants Tracy Howard, sales manager and events manager, and Tony Dunn, the chief operating officer, along with Ann Matthews, will join us in the ring for the awards presentation. Deanna, thank you very much for being with us today. It's a pleasure having you up here in the Announcer's Tower. Hope to see you again this weekend.
Absolutely. My pleasure, Jeff. It was great show jumping. Thank you for all you that came to watch. We had the youngest and Olympians competing today, and they put on a great sport of equestrian show jumping.
Mike Lawrence coming into the arena to act as our ring master, making sure that the protocol is followed for the award ceremony. Again, a very special welcome to our presenters. Tracy Howard looks after sales manager here at Wesley Clover Parks, events manager who puts these wonderful tournaments together. Tony Dunn, welcome to the arena. Tony Dunn, the Chief Operating Officer for Wesley Clover Parks, joined by Ann Matthews at the winner's circle. And Sheila Johnstone, tireless Sheila, who looks after all of the award ceremonies for our class, our coordinator of awards for the tournaments. And we invite the winner to the winner's circle, coming forward wearing that beautiful Wesley Clover Parks champion cooler. The winner of the class on a time of 39.07, Ali Ramsay and Casino. Première place, c'est le numéro 630. Ali Ramsay enjoying her first visit to the Ottawa tournaments with a big win today. Second place now, la deuxième place au 717, number 717, Julia Madigan, farfelu du printemps, qui a complété sans faute en 39-24, home in 39-24 in a clear jump-off performance. Moving on to the third place now, troisième position, Beth Underhill, and Count Me In. Moving on to the fourth place now, quatrième place, Amy Millar and TRUMAN. Fifth place award, la cinquième place au 628, number 628, Nicole Walker with Excellent B. The four falters, 4:51:28 on the clock. The sixth place award goes to number 679, le 679. Sexto lugar, Alberto Michan with El Pacho. The 7th place award now, 7e place here in the Wesley Clover sponsored Classic to 631, Ali Ramsay with LUTZ. Deuxième cheval pour Ali Ramsay qui a gagné la classe, cette fois avec LUTZ, son deuxième cheval. Second ride for Ali, second to place here in the final placings for the Classic. La 8e place, 8th place, Amy Millar one more time, this time with Ericsson. Ninth place was Sam Walker, la 9e place à Sam Walker, le 595, number 595, with CORALISSA. And rounding out the top 10 is number 617, or 617, Daniel Coyle and Legacy. Thanks again to our presenters presenting the awards and the ribbons today. Tracy Howard, Sales Manager and Events Manager here at Wesley Clover Parks. Chief Operating Officer for the Parks, Tony Dunn, along with Ann Matthews at the Winner's Circle. Congratulations all. That completes the awards presentation. It is time for some fun now for the competitors on the Victory Parade. We'll invite our winner, Ali Ramsay, to lead the parade now. Le Galop de la Victoire. Ali Ramsay with 2 in this parade, 2 in the top 10. Casino and LUTZ. Second to Julia Madigan and Farfelu de Printemps. Beth Underhill with Count Me In was third. So again, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for being part of the Wesley Clover competitions here, the Ottawa tournaments. 5th anniversary of the tournaments just keeps getting better and better every year. We're back tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock start here in the International Arena. On commence le jour demain à 9 heures avec la classe mètre 35. We start the day with an open meter 35 competition. And of course, tomorrow the $10,000 U25 Grand Prix set at 1.40 m will go tomorrow afternoon. La grande classe de demain